Hello, welcome to this tutorial on abstract flowers. I hope you find it useful. So the first technique we're using here is using a cotton bud to paint. So this is good for flowers or plants that have clusters or very close together buds, and it's really good for applying over a large area very quickly. I have a shape already there before I started painting with the blue. That was just a sort of stem shape it was done with a paint marker, actually the Liquitex paint marker. For the second flower, I'm also using the cotton bud for the middle of the flower, but then I'm taking a palette knife and I'm sort of dragging it across the page. It's got a very small amount of paint on it each time, and this gives the flower a more sort of abstract look. So I'm starting at the centre and I'm dragging it out the way. You can also do this the other way if you want to have the inside of the petal to be larger than the point. So what I'm trialing here is I'm showing the same sort of process but from outside in, using a lot more paint each time, so you can see it's very textured. I decided to do quite a large abstract field of flowers in this one, so I took some bubble wrap, I painted onto the bubble wrap with a palette knife, and then I've pressed that onto the page. There's a lot of dots, so that could be the internal of the flowers, the centres, and then I'm taking a sponge and I'm dabbing it in paint and then just dabbing sort of randomly across, just to give it a very, again, abstract look, so that it could be perhaps a bouquet or a field of flowers. If you don't like the look that I have here, you can also take your palette knife and do a more opaque technique, where we just dip it in the paint and then scrape across, and you're keeping the palette knife flat against the paper and dragging it to the side in the direction you wish to go. Again, this can be done on different scales with different sizes of palette knives, depending on the size of your surface. I'm going in again with the yellow and the cotton bud, just to give more definition onto those centres with the yellow. For the next flower, I'm taking a toilet roll tube, and dipping it in the paint, and this creates just a ring or a circle. You could leave it like that, or as I'm doing here, you could also take a palette knife or a brush and add some more texture in there with some more paint. I'm now taking a brush and I'm starting at the centre, pushing down and then dragging it across the page away from the flower. It's kind of an abstract sunflower look here. As you can see, the petals are quite big, the brush is quite big, and again you've got that kind of dry brush look. You can see the paper coming through. If you want it to be smoother, you would use more paint or watered down paint or a thinner paint. We can look at that in another video. This is a little bit of a different technique for petals. So this is starting at the outside, very gentle pressure, and then as we go down the petal, you put more pressure on it, you lean out to the side to create that sort of oval rounded shape, and then I've just added in a centre of the flower just to give it some dimension and context. So you can see these are all very abstract, but they really give a good impression. So it's something that's very simple to do, and you could do it with any paint, any surface. You could use a whole range of tools to make the marks. There's really no limitations, so it's just a few ideas. I hope they helped you on your journey to creating a flower artwork. Bye for now.